Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to You Revealed Live. I am Coach Tracy Knight, and I'm your self mastery coach. I'm here at day 7 as a part of the People's Inauguration Challenge, which is a 10-day experience that collectively we are creating with intention to heal our country through love. Every single day, we have a different theme that we're focused on. And I love the journey that we've been taking. Yesterday, we began to reimagine what we could see for our world, for our country, and for our life. And today, what we're going to talk about is breathing life into it. Breath is the source of life, period. We know this as we watch George Floyd and so many other people take their last breath. And it gave us such a I think it was such a pivotal moment where you begin to think about just how important breath is. And yet, for many of us, we really have not learned how to breathe. We breathe very shallowly from our chest. It's not until, as my mother says, it's not until your well runs dry that you miss the water. The idea of not being able to take a breath or to have that breath through, COVID-19 is a virus that attacks sort of the respiratory system, and so the idea that you can't take in a full breath can feel extremely scary. And so today's message is really dedicated to really appreciating just how important our breath is, um, and to give us an opportunity to pay more attention to it. Because I think a lot of times we just take so much stuff for granted that it's going to be here. Life was breathed into us from the moment of conception, and we just kind of believe that it's going to always be there. But it's so important that we practice breathing. In that practice of breath, we also are practicing being present. That brings us back to, um, you know, I'm here, I'm in this moment, I'm not in the future somewhere afraid of what could potentially happen, because anytime we live our life thinking about the future and worrying about what is going to happen, that projects us into the future. That's where fear lives, is something that has not happened, may not ever happen. Um, and we get ourselves into a tizzy, and a lot of times we hold our breath as a result of that. Or we lament over the past, and that is where the shame and the guilt come in, and we begin to check out because we're thinking about all the things that have happened in the past to us instead of being right here. I just finished doing an amazing retreat for some young women at Spelman, and just talking about one of the young women were talking about how she wanted to do all this stuff for her grandchildren. Her success was going to be for her grandchildren. And I'm thinking, I said to her, I said, and what about today? What about this moment? What are you doing with and for yourself in this moment instead of trying to project 60 years into the future? So, what breath does is give us an opportunity to stay present with ourselves. If we just listen to that breath and follow its movement, we can completely rescript the way we are experiencing life, because breath has a sequence. And so, we're going to do some of that sequencing today. When you take breath in, so you take breath in, you hold it, you release it, and then there is a pause. That 4-step process has meaning to it. It's a cycle. Taking breath in is allowing yourself to receive the goodness of the universe. It's allowing you to receive all the abundance that is already there. It's reminding yourself that really you ain't doing nothing. If you just allow yourself, take your hands off of things, let go, and take your hands off of things, you will see that that breath is constantly there, breathing in. And the goal is to fill up your diaphragm, which is right here, you want to fill this up when you breathe in, right? And then you hold it at the top. Taking that pause is the opportunity to surrender. You're really surrendering to what can be created by what you have just taken in. So that's symbolic of, if the universe is giving you something, if you are being brought something new, you pause for a moment to figure out what are all the possibilities that you could create with that. If you suddenly win a lot of money, you've received that money in. You pause for a moment. Don't just run and spend all the money. Pause for a moment to decide, to make a choice as to, you, not even a choice, to pause for a moment to explore all of the possibilities of what could be created out of that. Once you pause, you've considered the possibilities of what can be done with that breath, how that breath is moving throughout your body to support your organs, to support you in life. Then you let go and breathe out. That is symbolic of letting go of what you do not need anymore. There are so many things that we hold on to that really our higher power is trying to move out of our life. But we're so tethered and entangled and entwined with things. We believe that we are losing or have a lack of something. That if we let go of this one thing, then we will be going without. And it's not the truth. I recently had that experience where I was holding on to these accounts that I didn't need anymore. One was like my insurance. And I was holding on to this one relationship with this insurance company. And I felt the need to move, but you know what happens? We get to this place where we don't want to change things. We don't want to let go because we're comfortable in it. And so I finally had decided at the top of this year I was going to let go of things that really no longer serve me. I promise you all, by taking that one step to just let go and surrender, trust the process of life. Trust that whatever is coming to you is for you. Trust that goodness is on the other side. If you let go and free your hands and allow life to flow into you, that breath that you took in, and letting go of what you no longer need, that it's going to be another breath on the other side. It might be bigger, better, and more fulfilling. By letting go of that insurance company, that insurance account, I was able to save an enormous amount of money per year. And here I have been holding on for dear life in this one way of being where if I had just let go, I could have saved tens of thousands of dollars over these years. Okay? So what I'm saying to you in the breath, this is symbolic of letting go of everything that you do not need anymore. Relationships, belief systems, language that that does not support you. It does not enhance your life. Thoughts, actions, habits. How about all those habits of, not working out, eating food that you don't need anymore, being in a cycle of addiction in some way? That might be shopping, caretaking, people pleasing. Oh, it's many types of addictions out there. It's not just addictions in alcohol and drugs. That's some types. But there are also addictions to just people, places, and things, being codependent. Let it go. And so releasing your breath is an act of actually surrendering your will and turning it over to something that is bigger than yourself. And then at the end of that breath cycle, you pause again, because it is in that moment that you get to choose whether or not you're going to take another breath. You get to choose whether or not you're going to allow yourself to receive what the universe is trying to give you, and we start the cycle over again. So breath is not just breath. There's a rhyme and a reason behind it. So let us practice this. I'm going to practice a cycle with you. We're going to do about 7 breaths, okay? So the cycle is we breathe in, fill up your diaphragm. That diaphragm should be expanding out as you take air in. So that's your stomach. Breathe in, hold it at the top. Breathe out and think about all the things that you want to let go and push all the air out. Pause and choose whether or not you want to allow yourself to receive again. Okay? Let's do it again. Breathe in. Pause. Breathe out. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Out. Last one. Breathe in. Let go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Just in that moment, look at how still you became. And if you pay careful attention, your energy has probably come way down and stabilized and has created this sense of calmness. This is what we need for our country. This is what we need for our world. This is what we need for our life on a regular basis. When I train people all the time, we do some breath work, and they're like, when we're doing training on maintaining balance, and they're like, oh, I can breathe. You mean I could do that to calm my stress levels down? Yes. Something simple as taking 10 deep breaths. 10 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths can completely recenter you, bring stress down, and clear your head so that you can make much more conscious, intentional, well thought out, non emotional decisions that are based in principle, not out of your ego. So today's dedication is to our breath, and I give honor to our breath. I give thanks to our higher power of our own understanding for breathing life into us. I thank you for being here. I thank you for taking the challenge with me every single day for these 10 days. I send you blessings because of it. And I want to challenge you this evening. Your challenge for this evening is to do 10 more deep breaths before you go to bed. If you'd like to learn more about what we're up to at Tracy Knight Consulting, please check us out on the website. And our 13-week group coaching program is coming up on March 2nd. And if you'd like to learn more about how you can get out of your own way so that you can become the badass leader that you already are, but you haven't figured out how to find enough time in your schedule, and you haven't figured out how to navigate all the changes and the dynamics and the people and the things that are pulling on you, let me teach you how. I have done it in my own life. I'm Tracy Knight. I'm your self-mastery coach, and I want to remind you that today is the day that we take back, transform, and win at our own life. I'll be back again with you tomorrow. Peace.